everybody. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 101. Run, Ronnie, run. All right. There we go. An American satirical comedy film directed by Troy Miller. The film is a spin-off inspired by sketches from David Cross and Bob Odenkirk's Mr. Show on HBO. David plays the lead in multiple other roles. I don't remember him playing multiple other roles. A couple. Like, did the voice of the kid. I don't remember much else.
I don't remember him being anybody else in the movie.
And then Bob Odenkirk played multiple supporting roles. I don't remember that either. I just watched it. But, okay. So, produced in 2001 and premiered at the 2002 Sundance Film Festival before being released direct-to-video over 18 months later in 2003. So there's some controversy about this where Bob Odenkirk gave out, this is in New Line Cinemas, gave out the guy's personal email so people could complain about not releasing the movie.
Nice.
And finally got it released. And then he blames the mediocre reception and I don't know, I guess overall quality of it on him and David not being able to have final cut of the movie. So there's that. And yeah, 2003, it's like this shit. I think Mr. Show stopped in like 1998 or something. So it was quite a bit after the show. And you had never seen this, correct?
Yeah, I've never seen this. I've never seen Mr. Show. This movie in particular, I've known about since high school because my dad loved this movie. And it's not that we ever talked about the movie, but it was like he had that DVD case on our shelf, and it was always just in view. So I just have that memory of the yellow background, Run, Ronnie Run. I was like, what the fuck is? I've always thought like, what is this movie? And my dad, oh yeah, it's funny movie, David Cross, but that was kind of it. But it was just always around. I saw it every single day because I had to walk past the entertainment tower, to go to the kitchen back in my old house. But so that's really all I knew about it until, you and I talked about it fairly recently when you were saying, you kind of give me the lowdown of it where it's like, oh, it's based on Mr. Show. And so it kind of got me interested in it.
Yeah. So walk us through, buddy, on a fresh perspective.
Yeah, this is kind of like one of those, inevitable, unfortunate situations where one of us has an attachment to something from a long time ago. One of us is coming in new. This is happening like with Top Gun, a little bit with the Raid, although Raid I didn't grow up with. But and I mean that by saying that I didn't love this movie. I thought it was all right. I think there are bits of it that I really thought was funny, but overall as a whole, I don't have any, there's no reason for me to watch it again. There's nothing really to attach myself to it. But, and also just coming in, not, never seeing Mr. Show or this character. Maybe if I'd seen Mr. Show, it could have helped. I think this movie is, when it's trying to be a narrative thing, I think it's fine. But the problem is that I feel like this movie is trying to do a bunch of different things, and it just kind of feels messy, which kind of makes sense. I saw there's like 6 writers on this movie, where it's like there's the narrative of Ronnie going to Hollywood, like that's the kind of core of it. But then there's also shorts within the movie, like there's a little bit of a short gag about the conspiracy of like the gay. Conspiracy of turning everyone gay. There's like a Jack Black thing. There's a narrator. There's all these weird things in the movie that don't really need to be in it. So it kind of just throws me off, even if they're silly and fun. But it just kind of throws me off. I'm like, what? You're trying to do too much. Either stick with your narrative, or you're just going to do a bunch of show. Like, what are you trying to do? But that being said, yeah, there are some. I didn't laugh out loud a lot, but I think for me, the standout one where I was laughing pretty hard was the musical number, or sorry, not the number, but the musical adaptation of Run, Ronnie Run. I think you had sent me that clip a couple months ago, and I watched it without context. I didn't really get it, but now seeing it in context, I think that whole scene is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's my overall thoughts were it was okay. I didn't love it. there are some funny bits in it, but overall, it was kind of a shoulder shrug for me. But I know you probably have, my dad loved it. It seems like you love it. I think there's a lot of, you got a lot of attachment to it.
I mean, no. I mean, I don't love it. I liked it. Watching it now, it's kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
It's man, it just doesn't carry itself for a feature length movie. I think it works better as skits in the show. I think the show is far funnier than the movie ended up being. It's Ronnie Run only had to work for 4 minutes, 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Not an hour and a half. I think it's an hour and 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, something like that.
And the cop stuff is funny. Like I don't know what the skit is on the show, but the what's the show called? The fictional show. It's not Cops.
Fuzz.
The Fuzz. Yeah, that stuff is pretty damn funny. I'm wondering, do you know if the skits like that is that basically the skit is like a?
Yeah, it's a riff on Cops. The skits, pretty much. I feel like the skits are funnier. Like they'll pull up and is immediately just line bitch, officer, and then they call Ronnie, let her speak, and you'll start to line bitch, breaking stuff, and it's so funny.
Yeah,
I think what you did, Tammy. Look what you did, goddammit.
One of the funniest bits of the movie is the first time they do the Fuzz episode where the cops roll up and then you see the car crash and the guy's like hanging on the tree, he's all bloody and fucked up. Yeah, I'm all right. And then they kind of walk past him, but they're chasing him through the house. And I think he says something like, "You want to see a magic trick?" And then there's kind of booyah, and he like just takes off from the cupboard. I don't know. There's a lot of like really funny moments in that.
Or it's like, "What are you doing in here?" And he's in the cupboard. It's like, I've been sleeping here. They built a house around me. I've been here the whole time. And then when he's getting like arrested around the world and stuff, and he's getting arrested in like Paris, and like whistle on, arrested him. He's like, "Speak English, motherfucker."
The oil drum was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I think the Asian kid in the wheelchair, voiced over by David Cross, is pretty good. It's supposed to be like Rumble in the Bronx.
Right.
It's supposed to be like that kid ever had that terrible voice. Oh, you got me a new game? Oh, you should see my sister. She's really sexy. Okay, where's she?
Oh my god.
My cushion!
I forgot about my cushion.
Yeah, it's making fun of him.
Oh my god.
And then the best part of the whole movie, I think, is the end. Did you watch in the credits and he starts doing the Jackie Chan spoof?
Oh yeah. Well, all the stuntman running and
they pull him out of the oil and it's got the little song "Go Ronnie Dawes."
Oh my god,
that's awesome, dude.
It took me a second to register what they were ripping because like all these like Asian guys with jumpsuits run in and save them. After by the third time, like, oh, they're doing the Jackie Chan stunt thing. But it took me a second. I was like, what the fuck is with all these people running in?
Yeah. That one guy from Anchorman he's pretty funny in it.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He kind of narrates the thing. He was a Southern gentleman. And the black friend is the guy from Don't Be a Menace, South Central, drinking juice in the hood, like Crazy Legs. I've never seen him in really anything other than this and that movie.
He had like a binky or something in that movie. I forget.
Yeah,
he's dressed like a baby.
Crazy Leg. He's just got like a puppet baby feet because he's paralyzed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's pretty funny. Eat that vomit, dog.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of from his character, the narrator. I was getting a lot of Bubbles vibes from Trailer Park Boys. He kind of had that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
He's got some funny stuff, like when they're stealing the school bus and he's leaning out the side. I'm the principal. He's got a lot of dumb one-liners.
Bob. I was about to say the good segue for Bob. I think his entrance to the movie is fucking hilarious with the food annihilator or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Um, it's like it's all kind of like based on the show, and like the show version is funnier because in the movie it's like, what's the number one problem in the kitchen? And no one knows. It's food. It's everywhere. And he's basically it's just as food annihilator. He puts it in there, and it's a what do they call that? I don't know. Uh, you know,
Like a
shit. What are those
processor.
things? Yeah, food processor, and he just puts food in there, and it gets rid of it, and then it breaks and shoots a blade into her chest, and that's a pretty funny part.
Yeah.
When he's like, see this little mishap here where the blade ejects from the machine and stabs her. You think you could snip that out with your Hollywood magic? And he's like, I don't have that kind of equipment here. He's like, I think it could really hurt sales.
As it should, or he says something to that degree, like, thank God.
Yeah, as it should. But in the show, that's another sketch. I don't. It's not necessarily related to Run Ronnie Run, but he's a British like you know, what are the infomercial guy? He's like, what's the number one problem in the kitchen? He's like, it's pans. He's like, why so many pans? You got a broiling pan for Granny, a soup pan for Dad. You got a frying pan for Uncle Lou. Too many pans. That's why I invented the super pan. It's 20 pans in one. And then it's just a pan. And he goes on selling it as the 20 pans in one. And there's some funny stuff where it's like, listen to the pan. What's it saying? And he like to the other host, and he hits him on the head. Ow! That's because you're not listening to the pan. Anyway, and the sketch about the is funnier, and they kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of different sketches from the show that they kind of influence parts of the movie. They're like, oh, remember that sketch, and they kind of retool it and work it into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those times that, and so that's why sometimes I get confused on which ones are in the movie and which ones are in the show.
Yeah.
I can't remember which musical bit was in the movie. Is it the one where he sings my home used to be my castle? Is that the one that's
I don't remember that in the movie, no.
Well, then that's the better one in the show. Because they also did Ronnie Dobbs' musical in the show.
No, the one in the movie is You're Brutalizing Me. That's the only.
Oh yeah, y'all are brutalizing me.
So good.
Cantaman. Yeah, that one's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But they go more into it, I think, in the show because Bob Odenkirk has a part he sings. He's like, I'm singing from the perspective of the camera. and they show him in the booth. He's like, I am a camera am I? And then Ronnie Dobbs busts in. He's like, God damn it, you're missing the half note every time, Terry. It's I am a camera am I? And the cops have a bit, and his wife has a bit. Anyways, which for the movie they do a lot less. I was like, you do more of this in the time constricted show. But definitely check out Mr. Show if anyone. I would.
Yeah, watching the movie made me want. Not that this was like a fucking masterpiece or anything, but I felt because I like sketch comedy stuff. I like Key and Peele and Chappelle Show and all that kind of stuff. But there's a whole wave of like sketch comedy stuff that I just missed out on. Like, I don't know if it is sketch, but there's like Kids in the Hall. I don't know if that's sketch comedy, but like I missed out on that.
That one's good too.
Mr. Show. There's a few of them I've just never seen.
Well, Kids in the Hall is not that great. Never mind. That's one of the ones I didn't like too much. It's okay.
Really? Yeah.
I was thinking Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh yeah. That's another one I've never seen.
That one's good.
Sorry, I should say that, our group of friends growing up were into that kind of stuff. So I would like go to someone's house and it would be on the TV we used to use a projector. It used to be on the projector or on the TV, but I myself never like seeked those out. So this is one of the ones I've always wanted to check out. So, and it's on HBO, so I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, and it's unique in that all the sketches are connected. And like they'll have a segue leading into the next sketch that connects it thematically or story wise. Very different than most sketch. It's a very different kind of sketch show, which is pretty cool. And it had such a cult following that it got that follow up on Netflix, so that's on there too.
Oh, so yeah.
later on when they're all adults, or not adults, but they're much older.
Mm-hmm.
They do that. I think the one on HBO is called Mr. Show with Bob and David, and then the one on Netflix is called With Bob and David because they can't use Mr. Show. So that's pretty funny. So yeah, and it's directed. Troy Miller. He directed some episodes of Arrested Development and something else they were in. I don't know. It looks like his career is mostly stand-up comedy stuff, specials. I don't know how much of a director those need. Yeah, tell the joke again. Tell it again. Tell it better.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see, you know, with me and probably a lot of people. Our introduction to Bob Odenkirk is, you know, Breaking Bad, or at least for me. I'm sure a lot of people are the same. So to see him, you know, I think he's probably one of the standouts of this movie. I think David Cross is hilarious as Ronnie Dobbs, but I think Terry is also a pretty fun character, and it's really cool to see Bob Odenkirk outside of Breaking Bad, especially if that's all I've seen him in. He's actually really funny. There's another parts that made me laugh out loud in this movie was they're sitting in the pool and they're having a heart to heart, and it goes on this thing. He's like, "You're not really British?" And he's like, "No, I was British. I was born there. I was just born without an accent." Ah! And he starts crying. That little delivery was really funny. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I just wanted to throw out that it's kind of fun to see Bob Odenkirk in like a comedic setting.
Yeah. And then SpongeBob is in it too. What the heck did he do in there? Oh, I can't remember, but he had like the dyed blonde hair. Oh yeah, he was the
the yoga guru guy or whatever.
Yeah, the guru guy. Yeah, with Jeff Goldblum.
Forgot about that. That was pretty good. I want my.
What does Jeff Goldblum want? I want my money back.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff. It's like, you know, it's got the girl in the bathing suit holding the beers, and it's like, man, says holding the beer, says grab a pair. He's like, I know they're talking about beer, but I could think of another pair I want to grab. My balls.
That was pretty good.
And then he meets her, and then like, and she becomes his girlfriend and all that. And I remember, and then the first time they meet at a party, it's pretty funny. And she's like, "Was that a beer can in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?" And he's like, "Oh no, that's a hard-on. You gave that to me." Because she's all trying to speak in euphemisms and stuff, and he's like, just saying things. It's pretty funny. But yeah, it's mildly funny, the whole movie. It's like,
yeah.
I didn't really laugh out loud. It's just you kind of chuckle here. They had some. That's kind of their comedy, though. It's not over the top like Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. It's just more clever, the phrasing and things they come up with. Like that song in the middle of it, that The Greatest Love in History by 3 times 1 minus 1.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
That's another sketch they do a couple times in the show. That is much better in the show. Where, Bob Odenkirk's just the backup guy, and he's always just damn, making fun of like '90s R&B because that's when the show came out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing an interview once. It's so funny in the show. It's now a review of the show. They're getting interviewed. They're getting interviewed these guys, and the guy's like, "Yo, I heard one time you was like facing $300-400 fine." And he thinks he's gonna say years in prison. He's like, and then he's like, "Yeah, my boy Pootie T." He's like David Cross. He's like, "They're trying to get him for jaywalking." You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, my boy Pootie T is from the streets. He gotta be able to walk across them. And then it goes to David Cross, and like has a like lollipop. He's like, "I ain't got no flying shoes."
Nice,
just funny shit like that. And there's one of the songs is called "Ooh Girl Ooh," and it's similar to the one that's in the movie, but in the show it's just ooh. He's like, "Ooh ooh 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 ooh." Damn.
Yeah, that
And
was the
then
only bit that I was like laughing at, and that whole sequence was the
yeah.
background guy. That damn,
It was pretty
yeah.
funny when it was the last ooh ooh ooh. He goes ooh ooh ooh, pussy doodle doo. That was pretty funny.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just kind of trying to shoehorn all your favorite sketches. Remember this sketch?
Yeah.
This is a good one. But yeah, show superior. Watching the movie again, it was okay, man. Didn't age well. I didn't know that it wasn't like a theatrical release at all. I thought it was released normally, but yeah, straight to DVD. I should have known then.
Yeah. Straight to DVD, New Line Cinema, fucking straight off of Lord of the Rings in
Yeah,
2000s. Yeah, crazy.
that's how they do, man. Yeah, they. I think it was. I think you could get this one on PSP. I think I remember this being a UMD video, so that's something. Now
Nice.
available on UMD.
Straight to UMD. That's all
I
you
want
can
to get
get.
a bunch of those UMD videos, man.
Yeah.
Those are crazy. Y'all ever watched a movie on a PSP? Super fun.
God. Those always remind me of there's a science fiction movie. I don't remember what it, I mean, fucking take your pick, but they always have like a disc or something in sci-fi movies that's always what reminded me of those UMDs, like a sci-fi movie. There's another funny bit with what's the narrator's name in the movie? Clay. Where, obviously Clay gets injured and injured the more the movie goes on.
Yeah.
There's a point where Bob Odenkirk drops Ronnie off at the Quickie Mart, and Clay's kind of has the head contraption in the shoulders, and he can't really move. And he's like, "I'm gonna get in the back seat," and he's like, "No, you're not." And he's like, "Get out of here, you redneck! You're scaring me." I don't know. That whole scene was pretty funny. He's gonna get back
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, I'm just that was pretty funny. Yeah, let's have a champagne jam. That's a it's a recurring theme that like catchphrase I tried to get rolling, doesn't quite get rolling, but
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. I mean, I don't know. I liked it a lot as a young man. Seemed maybe it was just because because I liked Mr. Show so much. It was kind of a companion piece,
Yeah.
but on its own, man, it's not much. But yeah, everyone go check out Mr. Show because I knew Bob Odenkirk from that before Breaking Bad. So for me, it was the absolute opposite. It was weird to see Bob Odenkirk doing something serious.
Mm.
And I know for most people, it's probably weird to see him now looking back on the comedy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's how I got it.
It's almost like the Hugh Laurie. I mean, it's not as prominent because I don't know if anyone cares about Hugh Laurie, but it was kind of the same thing with me with Hugh Laurie because the first time I saw Hugh Laurie was in House, the show House. So he's like a cranky doctor, and then you go back and he's like all this British sketch comedy stuff from like BBC. It's just like whoa, it's kind of weird. I think he's in 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close, the live
Oh yeah, he
adaptation.
was
He's
one of the
henchmen.
bumbling
Yeah,
burglars.
so it's
The
kind of weird.
bumbling burglar number one. He was a skinny one. There was a skinny one and a fat one.
Yeah,
He was pretty good in that.
yeah, he was really good.
He was pretty close to the like cartoon version. It was pretty good. That movie was pretty good. That was
Jeff
like the
Daniels,
first
yeah.
Disney live action like remake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they do them all the time, but they did that one and they kind of just didn't do any for years and years, other than the sequels to it. But God, that was good. That could have been terrible. The 101 Dalmatians. How you gonna do all these animals? And
Yeah, and they did. From what I remember, they're all real. Like I think if you do it nowadays, you're probably gonna have a lot of CG dogs.
Oh yeah,
but
they're all
back
CG.
then, they got a shit ton of dogs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all real.
Yeah.
You couldn't do a good CG looking dog back then. It would look like shit. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a fun movie if you're interested in the history of like Bob Odenkirk, David Cross, and Mr. Show. If you're not, then probably unwarranted and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if anybody finds any part of this funny, it kind of spurs them to go check out the show. That would be, you know, a win, I guess, because I think everyone should give that a try because I think most people will like that. That's some pretty high quality content. I mean, it's HBO. You know what I mean? HBO hardly makes it low quality stuff. Like they believed in it enough to give it a couple seasons, so go check that out. And it's fun to see these guys in rated R stuff. Like so you see Arrested Development and And then you see SpongeBob as Tom Kenny is a big part of Mr. Show, and he's funny when he's off the reins and he's cursing and doing
Yeah.
crazy stuff. It's pretty good. That's why I hate SpongeBob. It's like, damn, it robbed us of this guy doing like adult humor. You know, he's stuck in SpongeBob for 20 freaking years, dude.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
don't
of like
blame him.
the same thing of like I'm not bringing this up for you to watch. I promise. This is just literally I thought of this when you were saying, but reminds me of like MacGruber because like when you on SNL, it's like you got the laugh track and it's like it's watered
Yeah.
down, but then when you watch the movie, the show, it's like hard R. He's like going saying the most outlandish, vulgar things. It's really funny. So yeah, I like the I like when you see something PG on TV and then they go hard in the paint on HBO.
Yeah. All right, so I got a little bit of a nostalgia for this. I'm gonna have to give it like a 6.6, just because I have some love for it. Maybe it might be lower if I didn't have any connection to it, but I think 6.6 is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm at a 5.5. I think this is like, yeah, there's a couple parts in there. It's pretty funny, but overall, it's like I'm never gonna watch this again. I'm kind of glad I watched it just to see Bob Odenkirk,
Yeah.
be goofy and just to see Ronnie as the character. But after that, it's like, I'd rather. It's just kind of like what you were saying. I'd rather just watch the show, watch the sketch comedy stuff. But yeah, to me, like I said in the opening, I think the musical bit. It's only like 2 minutes long, but that had me fucking rolling. You're brutalizing, and then they go and they make him take his pants off, and he does it again naked. I don't know, it's really funny, just outlandish.
Yep. 6.6, 5.5. Go check out Run, Ronnie Run, and while you're at it, go check out some Mr. Show and With Bob and David. That's just a weird title to say on Netflix. Yeah, that's all we got. I wish that would have been a little better, as I remembered, and as for you to watch for the first time. But oh well, that's how it goes. Yeah, so please check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and as always here on YouTube. We appreciate having you. Thanks for joining us. So until the next week, we say peace.
Peace.